The air was thick with the hum of laughter and clinking glasses as I stood there in my finest suit, surveying the rooftop venue I had meticulously planned for months. The city skyline stretched out behind us, a glittering tapestry of lights that paled in comparison to the radiant glow of my wife, or so I had thought. Every detail of this night had been crafted with her in mind. The 5-tiered cake blending her favorite flavors, the towering champagne fountain catching the light like liquid diamonds, the delicate fairy lights weaving through exotic flowers flown in from halfway across the world. It was a small fortune spent, but nothing was too extravagant for the woman who had been my entire world for 4 years. She moved through the crowd like a vision, her gown flowing, her laughter ringing above the murmur of our 60 guests. I watched her, pride swelling in my chest despite the exhaustion tugging at my bones. This was what love was supposed to be: sacrifice, devotion, the relentless pursuit of her happiness. Then she took the microphone. I expected gratitude, a tender acknowledgement of the months I'd poured into this night. Instead, her voice carried across the rooftop, dripping with something that made my stomach twist. "I have to thank Damon Rivera," she said, her eyes alight with a fervor I'd never seen directed at me. Asterisk, my guiding light. The one who's been there for me through everything. Asterisk. The words hit like a physical blow. Damon. The name had slipped into conversations before, casual mentions, harmless coworker anecdotes. But the way she said it now, with reverence, with ownership, it hollowed me out. The crowd shifted uncomfortably, sensing the jagged edge beneath her words. Then, with a smirk that didn't reach her eyes, she turned to me. "And for my wonderful husband," she extended a small gift bag, her tone laced with mock sweetness. Asterisk, a little something special. Asterisk. The room held its breath as I reached inside. My fingers brushed soft fabric. I pulled it free, a sleek black designer t-shirt, the kind that cost more than it should. And there, stamped across the chest in stark white letters: "Divorced." A beat of silence. Then nervous laughter rippled through the guests, uncertain, waiting for my reaction, waiting to see if this was some twisted joke they were supposed to find charming. My hands didn't shake. My voice didn't break. But something inside me shattered. I set the bag down slowly, deliberately, then reached into my pocket and withdrew the velvet box I'd been carrying for weeks. Inside, a Cartier bracelet, gold, exquisite, something I'd saved for because I knew how her eyes would light up at the sight of it. I placed it beside the cake, where the light caught the diamonds just right. Then I walked away. The night air was sharp, biting, a welcome contrast to the stifling heat of the party. Behind me, the music faded, the voices dissolving into the hum of the city. I didn't look back. An hour later, my phone buzzed. A text from Mark. Asterisk, Damon quit. She's scrambling. Asterisk. I stared at the message, the pieces clicking into place. Damon, her guiding light, had vanished, leaving her unmoored. And for the first time that night, I felt nothing at all. No triumph. No pity. Just the quiet certainty that I had already moved on. The next morning, I buried myself in spreadsheets, in the steady rhythm of work that demanded nothing of my heart. The numbers blurred, then sharpened. And just like that, I was free. The phone buzzed against the leather passenger seat, Lisa's name flashing across the dashboard screen. I hesitated for half a mile before answering. This woman who still orbited my ex-wife's crumbling world, this last tether to a life I'd severed. "I wasn't sure if you'd want to know," she began, her voice threaded with that particular hesitation people use when delivering bad news they think you'll enjoy. The city lights streaked past my windshield like smeared neon as she told me about the failed podcast. One cringeworthy episode, a handful of pity listens, then silence. I made non-committal sounds, my knuckles whitening on the steering wheel when she mentioned the online backlash. Asterisk, people keep bringing up the party. You know, this shirt. Asterisk. Ah yes. The designer divorce announcement. My jaw clenched. Lisa kept talking, her words dissolving into the hum of tires on asphalt, but I'd stopped listening. The image bloomed in my mind anyway. My ex scrambling to recapture the spotlight, posting carefully curated vulnerability, only to have the internet remind her, over and over, of that rooftop moment when she mistook cruelty for comedy. I thanked Lisa without warmth and ended the call. The silence in the car was sweeter than any revenge. Gregory's office smelled like expensive leather and ambition. When he slid that embossed invitation across his mahogany desk, I actually laughed. "They asked for you specifically," he said, eyes glinting. Asterisk. Turns out rebuilding yourself from scratch makes people pay attention. Asterisk. The conference was small but prestigious. A foothold. Then came the email that made my pulse stutter. An invitation to Dubai from a professor whose work I'd admired for years. Your name keeps surfacing in conversations, he'd written. I read it 3 times before responding with a single word. Yes. The diner booth squeaked as Omar slid in, Sasha already demolishing a basket of fries. Their startup's code was still messy, but when Sasha demonstrated the new interface, I saw it. The glimmer of something revolutionary. You're our secret weapon, Sasha said through a mouthful of potatoes, and Omar's quiet nod carried more weight than any contract. That night, I pinned the Dubai invitation beside my Thailand travel sketches and the blueprints for the modern farmhouse I'd been designing. My vision board looked like a promise. Dawn painted the sky in bruised purples when I laced up my running shoes. 6 miles now, my body carving through the cold morning like a blade. The rhythm of my breath, the burn in my lungs. This was the only meditation I needed. Somewhere across town, she was probably staring at another failed Instagram post, another dwindling follower count. The podcast studio would be collecting dust. Damon? A ghost. I didn't hate her. Hate would mean I still cared. But as my feet pounded the pavement, as the Dubai ticket confirmation blinked on my phone, as Sasha texted another breakthrough, I understood this was justice, the quiet kind. The kind that comes not from vengeance, but from outgrowing the person who tried to bury you. The road stretched ahead, bright and endless. I didn't look back.